Wow, just wow. So on Crunchyroll, they released another exclusive Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dark Side Dimensions clip, and I'm gonna break this clip down now. The thing is, this is rather of a scene that you'd want to see in the theaters, so trust me on this. If you do not want to watch the trailer or the clip, leave the video right now, because trust me, when you're in the theaters, you will have so much more enjoyment and be more pleasure, just because this scene is so vital to the story. So the scene first starts off while they're on the walkway. We've seen this in the Japanese trailers before, but we haven't heard a audio clip. It was a voiceover, but it wasn't an audio clip. So the scene first starts off talking about Taya. She's like, oh, Joe, you finally got your dual disc. And he's like, oh yeah, maybe you might need a new polish. Now, the thing with Joey is that his voice doesn't sound like it should in Duel Links, or like his normal Brooklyn accent, that's very deep and a strong accent. So it looks like they sort of condensed it down for the movie. Now, at first I was like, wow, it sounds kind of off, but it's good. It's good. It fits the tone of the scene. This scene's supposed to be a very sad, heart-touching, like when you're in the theater, like, man, I can't believe it. So Joey's basically like, why do you have your deck out, Yugi? And then he's like, I miss him. And as Joey always says, he challenges Yugi to a duel straight there and then, and that really does show his character. And then Yugi says, just thinking back. Now, yesterday I said, man, I don't like Dan Green's voice of this new Yugi rendition, but it's sort of starting to fade on me now, and I'm just loving it. And Yugi's like, I'm talking about the past, and of course it's his other half, what they call in the Japanese dub. It's the character that guided him into what he is. Also the character that guided Atem into what he is. And it's really cool to see that Dark Magician is of course the first card. It's probably going to be always. And I like the new art of Dark Magician, but he talks about missing him. He stands still for a few seconds and has a flashback. And Taya looks back and she's like, you mean Atem? Now she does say Atem a lot during the memory roll arc, at least during the final episode, so it's right for her to say Atem. And then Yugi's basically trying to man up in front of his friends, basically. Just forget about it. And then Joey, and this is so calm for him, especially how in the dub he's usually loud and just, yo bro. So I like this direction on the new change of his voice. He's like, Yugi, it's okay, you guys share a connection. And the truth is, they did share a connection, and they will always share a connection. Even if Atem's not there, he's still there in a sense. It's weird to talk about, but it's good. And it's that scene that we see in one of the Japanese trailers of a Yugi looking down at his deck and sort of connecting it to his heart, which is sort of symbolizing Atem in a way, since it is sort of his deck. And then he's like, not sometimes, just all the time. And that's very true. Now, in the original version, this movie takes 6 months after the original manga. And during the Transcend game bio, I think on Viz, what they said is that it takes a few months, sort of keeping the canosity in the same region, because initially 4K Media said that this takes 1 year after the anime. So it's better than that huge 1 year gap, and it makes more sense of Yugi missing Atem, because this is only a few months and Yugi lost someone very special and important to him. And then out of nowhere, it just goes back to ceremonial battle. Yes, fun fact, right? The thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Was that during season 5, it was about to wrap up, and the thing is, they were not selling enough cards. That's why the animation looked so sloppy during late Doma arc or late Darts arc and all the way through Memory World. This arc was just bad in terms of animation. Really, really bad. And the fact that they reanimated the scene, of course they were going to reanimate it. They're not like Toei or Dragon Ball Super where they just pop up the old versions. It just looks beautiful. The stone tablets, the shrine of the Millennium Stone, oh my lord, and then the portal to the afterlife, man, just all these flashbacks. And Atem, look how detailed he looks, as well as Yugi. Yugi looks exactly like Atem. They just look so on par. And the thing is, they got this correctly. What I liked is that they sort of made Atem look like Yugi during this shot. And the fact is that Yugi is going to sort of mold himself into Atem, not look like him, not take his full-on personality, what they did in GX, and I kind of like it as a fan, but in actuality, I don't like that because Yugi's his own character. But sort of making Yugi look like Atem during the process of his challenge, his duel, to try to show himself that he's the best, that he doesn't need him, that he's the better version. And Atem knew all along throughout the series that Yugi was going to pass him. And he says that it's just that things ended so subtly, and it's Atem with 2 cards in his hand with this just detailed animation motion. And you guys know how much of an Atem fanboy, and this scene is amazing. Now, why I didn't hype out so much is that there were no voices. Yes, there were no voices from Atem. And this is during one of the final phases throughout their duel, where he activates Gold Sarcophagus, and he knows what card Atem is going to pick, and that was all due to fate. Atem probably had a good amount of cards left in his deck, and the fact that he knew that Atem was going to use Monster Reborn to summon Slifer out of all the Egyptian god cards. Of course, it's the first Egyptian god card, I'm pretty sure, according to the Japanese sub, and then it goes Obelisk and then Winged Dragon of Ra. So the fact that he knew that he was gonna use Monster Reborn to summon Slifer is Yugi. And then you just see this, it's CGI, but damn does it look beautiful. This just beautiful, the red frame while the orange eyes, oh my lord, Slifer just looks amazing. He goes in for the attack and that's Monster Reborn. He activates Golden Sarcophagus, and of course the card that comes out is Monster Reborn. And Atem closes his eyes. This shot gets me. This shot gets me because he closes his eyes, and that's not a fact of wow I lost. That's a fact of yes, it's time for me to leave. My other half has surpassed me. He doesn't need me anymore. And that's Atem smiling, and then Silent Magician goes for the attack and defeats Atem. Flaws about this reanimation is that they sort of got the character's direction wrong. Like it's supposed to be like they're supposed to be crying a little bit more, but of course it's like a speed up version, cuts in frames, but just a shot to go fast while it's in the emotion and the tension's built up. And it shows Atem walking, and he does that iconic thumbs up. Now if you guys don't know, this is very much a staple in all the characters for Yu-Gi-Oh, especially the main protagonist. Yugi does it in GX. You see, that's why a lot of my avatars that I have customly built do the thumbs up, because it's such an iconic scene. Jaden does it in GX, Yusei does it, I guarantee you Yuma and I guarantee you do it as well. It's just a staple. And then we see, oh my god, just beautiful. Now the thing is, Joey looks a lot, and what I love about this scene, okay, is that the characters don't have the new redesign in this scene. Duke, Devlin, or Otogi looks similar to how he does during the Memory World arc in Duel Monsters. Grandpa or Suguruto looks similar to how he does look in Duel Monsters, and then Bakura looks similar as well. Junoichi or Joey, Yugi, they all look similar. And what I like about this is that, and the thing is, this takes a few months after the original show, but the fact that they all went on with their lives, well, I wouldn't say they all went on with their lives, that's of course a post after DSOD, but they get these different character designs. It shows the development. It shows that in a way that they're moving on without Atem in their lives, because Atem affected all of them. We see Trishan, or Trishan or Honda-kun, whatever you guys want to call him. Now, what I dislike about Trishan in the scene is that in the dub and subbed, he was the one that cried the most, and just sort of making him serious. And of course, this isn't like the series of, wow, yeah, finally he left. Atem never gave me recognition. It was always Joey and Taya and Yugi. But this is like sort of him like building up his frame, trying not to cry. He's just trying to act tough or something. And then you have a Shizu. Oh my lord, does she look detailed? And then Taya. And then we have Odeon and Merrick or Mullick. And does Merrick look detailed? And I like the fact that they added these characters, and they probably did that. They probably added that shot in just to, give some sort of fan service to all those Merrick, Odeon, and Ishizu fans. And then Atem goes into the afterlife. And then you look at the detail on the Shrine of the Millennium Stone. Now, the Shrine of the Millennium Stone is, of course, when you get all 7 Millennium items, as well as the 3 Egyptian God cards. It makes Atem duel Yugi, and if Atem loses, he goes on to the afterlife. If he doesn't, then he stays. This is, of course, a very vital item throughout the whole Yu-Gi-Oh series, and man, and does it look detailed. It looks so detailed. I'm a huge fan of the Shrine of the Millennium Stone. And, of course, they all go back, and we see Joey, we see Yugi, and he doesn't cry that much. We see Teo, we see Duke, and they're all just sad. And then Yugi says destiny has different plans. And you see the Millennium Puzzle. Of course, it's going to be the freaking last one to fall. It just makes more sense. And it cracks into pieces. I don't like the sound effect that they use. It was kind of cheap, but that doesn't matter. And then it pans back to them at the city on the bridge, and Yugi has his deck at his heart, just thinking about Atem. And then they have this really nice commentator saying Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dark Side Dimensions. But the thing is, let's talk about the trailer. My review, I already gave my breakdown. This trailer is amazing. The fact that Crunchyroll got their hands on this, of course 4K probably said, yo, promote this on your social medias. This is probably hands down the best trailer in terms of what it's supposed to do. This trailer has a mix of emotions, Atem, of course Atem, everyone needs Atem in their life if they're Duel Monsters fan, and it has a lot of nostalgia, and it has a lot of callbacks to the original series, of course, with that whole, first of all, it has Black Magician or Dark Magician. That's a nostalgia card, episode 1. This is probably the second card that Kaz drew. The first one was Blue Eyes White Dragon. They have all these characters. They have probably hands down the most sadistic villain in Duel Monsters, of course, Merrick or Mullick. Especially if you watch the subbed, Mullick does a lot of things. That's another callback. Ishizu, Odeon, just Battle City callbacks. And then the final scene is during the ceremonial battle, which of course Atem loses, but that's a nice callback as well. That's supposed to show Yugi's dominance, and it's supposed to resonate in our heads that, man, this is a Duel Monsters movie. Now, this is the video for today, guys. I hope you guys do enjoy it. Have a great day as always. Subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh content and Dark Side Dimensions content, as well as Yu-Gi-Oh 6 content. Now, if you guys don't know, that there is going to be a Yu-Gi-Oh 6 anime that will be coming out April, of course, in the Japanese side of things. We don't know when the dub's going to be coming out, but if you guys do want to get informed on stuff like that, subscribe, because I will get the news out. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day as always.